I don't like to record myself in videos, but I'm just gonna let people know what I went through last year. I hate myself in videos, but I feel like this should be shared a lot because I had c-diff last year and it felt like no one didn't care. Some of my friends did, and you know, some people think, oh, it's affection, it'll go away, but to be honest, it was a living hell, and I was depressed and stressed, and I felt like I want to give up. Like, no, really, I want to just end everything because this infection wasn't that easy as you think it is. Um, I'm gonna be a little upset to talk about because I get PTSD. I don't like to talk about stuff like this. Um, I went through hell in 2021, even 2022. 2021, I had a stone thing. I told everyone about it. It was the worst pain I suffered for a whole week. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think, I was crying in pain. I can tell you that in another video, but this has to be said about c-diff. If you don't know what it is, I don't know why doctors or anybody telling you about this. The doctor said this is like uncommon case, what's scary is that my daughter told me there's a couple few cases of c-diff people who have it, a few, like about 12 or 14, 15 cases of c-diff where I live, and I was scared because I didn't know where I got it. A hospital, or because I heard hospitals don't clean their bathrooms. That's how I must have got it from, because, hospitals are sick patients, And what's scary is that I had diarrhea a lot last year, and I'm like, is this normal? And I decided to call a doctor and say, hey, this isn't normal. They want me to go in right away. So the next day, I had to go see them, and they said that I have to see a gastrologist. And then, so they prescribed me a doctor to see a gastrologist. It's stuff I have to wait for December. It was like 4 months away. I was suffering with this infection for 2 months. And I haven't treated this infection for 4 months because I didn't know what it was. So I left this untreated for 4 months, and then finally the gastrologist calls me, say, hey, do you want to come in? There's a cancellation. So I took it, went out there as soon as possible, and they wanted me to do a stool test. And they said it'll take a day or so to get the results back, because they don't know if it's my hemorrhoids. They don't know, they don't know what it was. So I have to take this, they told me that they will do step by step. First is the test. So I waited in a day. Finally, I got finally I got a note chart. It's called My Chart. Like doctors send you notes, like you can send them messages, which is a really good tool. I like that a lot. And my gastrologist saying that I have c-diff, and I'm like, is that good or bad? She said it is treatable, but I'll send you out-of-the-counter medication with antibiotics soon as possible. She said that I am surprised that you had this infection for 4 months without treated, so I need you to take it as soon as possible. So I picked up my medicine, and I thought, oh, I'll get better. Technically, I wasn't. I was still getting worse, even though I took my antibiotics out a lot, and I still have issues with the infection. My tummy was all sore. Everything I eat and drink, I have to use the bathroom. Accidents, it was horrible. And my bottom area was really burning and sore. And it's not funny. It was like the worst pain I experienced. And what was sad is that I was depressed. I was stressed. I was, I wanted to give up because my infection got worse. And so I decided to look it up one day, because I couldn't sleep because I had this infection. So I looked it up on my iPad, and it was scary. My heart dropped. I was panicking, saying c-diff is deadly without treated. And if you have any symptoms, you have to go to the hospital as soon as possible. And they might have to do test they have to do large intestine surgery, which means they have to cut the half of your intestines, or you have to get a transplant of your intestines. Or it could be deadly, which means it can kill you. It's fatal. It's really fatal. And I heard a lot of cases, people die from it in my age. People still have it for like 10 to 15 years. And I was crying that I might die, you know. Because every time I take the antibiotic, I still get worse. No matter how many times I take it, I still get worse. So I asked the doctor, is there any other ways, you know, to recover right away? So the doctors told me that I have to use cleaning supplies to kill the germs of the c-diff and stuff. And so I did that, and I'm a chemical phobic. I don't like any chemicals. It's a long story. I don't like touching it. I don't like smelling it. I don't like it. It just makes me uncomfortable. So I had to buy, first I tried Dawn soap with hot water, and that didn't work. I had to clean the toilet seat, you know, and be right back. Furious is driving me nuts. She keeps grabbing the cat stuff. Anyway, sorry about that. That didn't work, so I keep getting worse. It was like I was about to give up everything, depressed mode, and I didn't draw for a couple times. I did draw because I tried to focus, you know, to clear my mind, but the infection kept coming back, and I've been taking about 6 antibiotics. Like, I have to take 10 times a day, or 10 times. Oh, I can't think straight. I have to take 4 times a day. Yes, 4 to 5 times a day. Yes, I'm not even kidding. I have to take 4 times a day. So every 2 hours, I have to take this antibiotic. So it's 4 or 5 times a day. And I thought, I should get better. Did not. I mean, you know, like I said, I take antibiotic for 2 weeks. That didn't work, so I have to take another antibiotic for 2 weeks. That didn't work. It kept repeating, and I'm like, why keep taking this antibiotic if it doesn't work? And then the gastroenterologist told me there's no other choice. We have no other option. So I was about to just give up everything and don't really care about anything anymore. Like, just don't give a F, you know. And so I decided not to give up. I'm like a warrior, you know, like I felt like I'm a warrior because I haven't given up to defeat this infection. I prayed every day. I was upset, you know, and I don't know why people act like c-diff isn't a fatal thing. It's scary to have it. I even post my video on Story Booth. I don't know if you heard of it. It has 4 million subscribers. Like, it talks about people share their real life stories. So I shared my story, and it got declined. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to warn people about c-diff, and you just decline my story. And I was really upset. People don't give a shit about c-diff. C-diff is a serious thing. It's not like a little infection that can go away. No. C-diff is deadly. I haven't treated my infection for 4 months. Luckily, I'm still alive because I could have been dead the next few months. Some people are lucky because the ER, I had to go back to ER because I was getting really worse. Because I had a little bit of blood in my stool, and they said it's from your hemorrhoids. And they told me some people are lucky to be alive, some people are not. C-diff is a serious thing. You could die from it, you could be having health issues, and I'm still recovering. Because my doctor told me it'll take end of this year to recover. And it sucked. It took a long time for me to recover from the infection. And I was mad because I felt like no one cares. Half of my friends did care. They supported me, and my dad, he's saying that, it can go away on its own, but he just doesn't understand like everyone else. This is a deadly infection. I can die from it. I could be lucky to be alive. Some people are not. There was like a 27-year-old person died from the c-diff. That was like a couple years ago. I read a story about it. And no one doesn't even share the story how bad c-diff is. It's deadly. It's not, it could be treatable, yes, but look it up on YouTube. There's so many stories how bad it is. And many people are ignoring it. That's what pisses me off. And I feel like people don't give a shit about it. When you get it, then you cry about it. Trust me, you don't want it. You don't want this infection. It's not like a UTI, you get rid of it like that. No, that's not how it works. I had to fight it for 9 months. This infection. And then people are going to say, you haven't took your medicine. You didn't do this. Yes, I did. I clean my toilets. I clean my countertops and stuff. I spray Lysol and everything. And I still didn't get rid of it. I try so many things that people put me down saying, oh, you're not taking your antibiotics like you should. Yes, I have. I took care of myself. I took care of my hygiene. I was, I made sure I drank lots of water then. And I still wouldn't fight this infection. It wouldn't leave me alone. So finally I decided to get Clorox wipes. And I took my antibiotic, and then because the doctors wanted me to clean my toilet with high chemicals. After I use the bathroom, I have to clean it with, Clorox and whatever. So after I use the bathroom, I have to wipe the seats. I wear gloves. Since I don't like touchy chemicals, I wear gloves. And I, wipe down my toilets every time I use the bathroom. That was like around January. Middle of January this year. That's when I noticed a change, that my infection was going away. I barely have any symptoms. And so I decided to keep taking my antibiotics as this prescribed me and keep cleaning the toilet as I should. And then a week later passed, in January this year. I was getting better. No diarrhea, no stomach pain, stomach issues, no soreness around my stomach. And my doctor said the reason why my stomach is sore because of an infection. It's like, hurting me, my gut. And so finally I noticed a big change. And finally I was happy to be recovered. I was fully recovered, but I had a lot of healing to do. They said it'll take 6 to 8 months to heal this year. So I'm not recovered yet, but I am a little bit. My stomach is still a little sensitive to small things, but it's going to take a while. Like I said, end of this year. And I was scared while I had the infection. I thought that I was going to die. My mind saying, you're going to die, you're going to end up in the hospital, your gut's going to be bleeding, and I have anxiety disorder, so I have all this. I mean, you would be stressed too if you have an infection that's deadly, and so after I finished my last antibiotic in January this year, I had to go to it's called the checkup. So I decided to go to my checkup day because they want to know how I was doing. So I told her I didn't have any symptoms. I can eat properly. I don't have any issues, bathroom accidents, So she was proud of me. She said that you fought and you never give up, and I'm glad you got rid of it. So I was happy. And I was recovered since this year. And I try to warn people how bad C. diff is, but people are saying that it's not deadly, you're making a big deal, it's treatable. Yes, it's treatable, but it's deadly. I haven't treated it for 4 months because I didn't know what the hell it was. Thought it was stress, I thought it was something I ate. You know, there's so much things things can cause diarrhea. Anxiety can cause it too. And plus, I had to wait in line to see a gastrologist. You know, they're booked for months, and I have to wait. So some people are trying to blame me that I didn't take care of myself. I don't go to the doctor as I should. Yes, I did everything while I had the infection. And so I try to share my story to Facebook, YouTube, and it felt like no one didn't care. It felt like the only way people are going to care is when I'm in the hospital, like ICU. And I was mad because I felt like people don't give a shit until I die, or if I was in a really serious, illness, that's when people are gonna fucking care. But what makes me really upset is every time I think about it, I cry. I cry a lot every time I think about it because I am so lucky that I'm not dead. There's a case, like I said, 25, 27-year-old died from this. There's a 30-year-old that died from it. There's a 21-year-old that died from this. There's so many cases. I don't know why people don't talk about C. diff. I barely hear it on the news. I barely see it on the internet, And people share their story on YouTube. It has so many views. And I don't know why people don't understand how bad C. diff is. And every time I'm alone, I cry sometimes. I feel like that I suffered a lot, and it felt like no one didn't care what I went through. And like my doctor said, I'm a warrior. I didn't give up. I defeated it, and I should be proud of that. And I was happy in tears, and I'm like, yes. I was like, oh my God, yes. I was emotional, happy, and I'm like, and the doctor was proud of me to get rid of it, and and then, like I said, there's this nurse at the ER, she's a nurse line, and I told her my good news, and she was proud of me, and she told me, you're the luckiest people I know that alive with this C. diff, because, the infection, because she said there's a lot of cases in this hospital have C. diff, and they're suffering, some are not recovered, some pass away, and you're very lucky that you recovered it, because a lot of patients your age have trouble getting rid of it, or they have or they'll be in the ICU, and she was proud of me. She was really proud of me, and she said, don't eat dairy foods because your stomach is healing, is sensitive to certain products, And why I'm sharing this story, because my mind's saying you need to share it. Because no one doesn't talk about it. If you have C. diff, it's like a mucus stool. It's not like regular stool, it's like mucus. And it's brown, light brown, and it's like mucus. You know what mucus is. And that means you might have C. diff or something else. If you do have that, go to the doctor right away, you might have C. diff. How do you catch it? From hospitals, old folks home, because hospitals don't really clean their bathroom, which, to be honest, it's really disgusting, because like they'll call your name, and then you go to this long hallway, they'll take you to a certain ER room, and sometimes you get your own toilet, or you have to use a toilet, and over there, that's when they don't clean. They should, because you don't know what they carry, and they never clean. And what's disgusting is that on the top is saying the best hospitals people voted on. I'm like, yeah, but they don't clean their bathrooms as they should. That's how I must have got C. diff, is because of that hospital. That's why I never used the bathroom in that hospital in Grand Forks, North Dakota, because that's where I must have got it. So that's why I have a phobia of using bathrooms in public, mostly in hospitals. I can use any other bathroom in the hospital. It's just this one where I'm living, I'm not using anymore, because that's probably where I got in the first place. Because a lot of people that I watch YouTube videos saying they got it from hospitals or nursing homes. You know, they don't clean their bathrooms, and it's really disgusting. Like, I don't know why they don't give you like a cleaner, like a Clorox wipe or something after you use the bathroom. You know, just wipe it down, because it's really disgusting that every time I use the bathroom, people don't flush the toilet. There's toilet paper all over the floor, and it's like, how are you fucking lazy to flush a toilet or to clean your mess? So it's really disgusting, and I am a little germophobic. I don't know why, but it's hard to explain. But like I said, that c-diff is this is what I have to share this story, because my mind's telling me to talk about it, what I went through. It was a living hell experience, and people act like it's yes, it is treatable, but people think, oh, it'll be gone in a week. I suffered for 9 months of this. And some people on my TikTok account, you know, it felt like they didn't really care, but some people felt bad what I went through, and they encouraged me, but it felt like I don't give enough attention. I have to be really disabled, or I have to be in a hospital ICU, you know, unit to only get a lot of views. So that's why I don't really care about my TikTok account anymore. I only use my YouTube, my Facebook, and my barely Twitter and Instagram is the mostly I use. And the reason why I draw a lot of Pikmin stuff, I'm a Pikmin fan, as you can see up there with my OCs. Some of them are mine, some of them are not, but they try to keep me happy while I suffer the infection. And some person was texting me saying, you draw Pikmin a lot. Do you draw something else? And I'm like, it's my account, and it's my art, and I don't like any other fandom much, because it's always sexual or, you know, weird fetish crap. So no, I am not going to stop drawing Pikmin, because they keep me happy while I have anxiety and all that stuff. And if you don't like it, you can unfollow me. And he's saying, no, I can't, I won't unfollow you. I mean, I'm just saying, but I'm a Pikmin fan freak. If you don't like it, that's your problem. They the ones that keep me happy and keep me going, because I went through a lot. I have a toxic old elder lady living in my apartment. I have health issues. I suffered through a lot of health issues like infections, and my partner had a horrible surgery. Like, the surgery went well, but then things went downhill, and she had to stay in the hospital, and I had to take care of her. You know, this like last month ago. So there's so many things going on for us, and like I said before, is that I have to share this story to let people know that c-diff is a big thing. It's not little, it's not easy to treat it. It's a challenge. I like to say extreme challenge. And all I see is these YouTube videos that these guys having a bunch of chemicals saying you need to clean your countertops, you need to clean your walls, you need... No, that's not true. All you need is Clorox wipes. That's how I got rid of my infection, is because I wipe my toilet every time I use the bathroom. That's what the doctor told me, and guess what? This year, I defeated the infection. I recovered, and I'm still healing to this day. So that's a false information. I don't know why people say Pine Sol, Clorox, this and that, clean everything. No, you don't. You just need Clorox wipes, clean your toilet, bathroom, whenever you're using it. That's how I got rid of mine. So some people may not be lucky, some people are, but that's how I got rid of mine. And my doctor wrote a note. My gastrologist wrote a note, because she was like really interested how I got rid of it. She was writing it down, and I told her, share your patients who have c-diff, how I got rid of it. Yes, the antibiotics may help a little bit, but the Clorox wipe actually killed it. Because I did research. It's saying that CDC recommends 100% is use Clorox wipes or Clorox to kill c-diff spores. They're like little bacteria. It will kill the c-diff bacteria. So I use, because one doctor told me I have to use bleach. That's false information. So she said bleach is the one that kills C. diff. And I said, I'm going to try Clorox wipes. And she said that's not going to work. Guess what? She lied, because I show her proof that I defeated it with Clorox wipes. And that's how I got rid of it. So she was like speechless for a second. She said, that's how you got rid of it, was Clorox wipes. I said, yeah, I did. She said, well, that's good to hear. And I'm like, yep, it wasn't bleach, it was Clorox wipes. Write that down and share your patients with this if they have it. So if you have it, try Clorox wipes. You don't need Pine Sol. And, oh my God, Furious, like, Furious! Get over here now! The cat's bothering her. Jeez, I forgot what I was supposed to say now. Yeah, I got rid of it. Like I told you how. And like I said, my mind's saying I have to share this story. And so I decided to do that. And I don't know what else to talk about, because I went through hell with it. And people thought I was making a big deal. And like I said, if you have it, then you'll know what I went through. Some people know what I went through because they had it before. And one doctor told me that he suffered with it before. And he said it took him about half a year to get rid of it. Like I said, it wasn't easy as people thought it was. And so try Clorox wipes if you have C. diff. Like I said, there's other signs of symptoms like throwing up, fever, but what I had was mucus in my stool. There was no stool, it was just like mucus. So if you have that, you better go to the doctor right away, because you might have it. Or if you keep going to the bathroom so many times, that means you might have it too. So best option is to see a doctor if you have it. Like I said, I'm still recovering. And so yeah, I just feel like this should be shared all over the world, because people just don't care about C. diff. They act like it's not a big thing. I never even heard of it. I don't even know what the hell it was. And my gastrologist told me what it was, and she told me, you know, it's scary, you know, it is treatable, but it's hard to treat. You know, some people have it for years. There's no other options by antibiotics. And they used to tell me in the 90s you had to stay in the hospital when you have C. diff, but since now it's treatable at home, you could be at home while you have it, because they told me a long time ago you had to stay in a hospital till you recovered. But now they said that it's treatable at home. You know, you can go home, take the antibiotic, clean your bathroom and stuff. That's what they told me. So I never even heard of this before. So look it up if you don't believe me. It's a thing, and I don't even know what the hell C. diff was till I looked it up. And there's so many cases that people die, or people are slowly recovering. People are still having this for years. And like I said, I was depressed mode while I was drawing stuff every day and try to, like, you know, clear my mind. But I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat much because it'll trigger my stomach. And my gastrologist, she wanted me to do an ultrasound to make sure my intestines were okay. And so she looked at it. After I got the results, she said, your intestines are good. It just needs healing. I don't see any bleeding. I don't see any holes. I don't see any damages. So she said that it's good. You need healing. Because why? She wanted to do a checkup on my intestines, because that's where the infection is located. And she said that you're lucky that it's not really damaged, because since you haven't treated it for 4 months, that luckily it didn't do any damage while you were taking antibiotics. So that's why she was telling me to make sure, be careful where the bathroom you use. That's why I'm kind of have like a phobia of bathrooms now in public. I mean, restaurants is okay with me. It's just hospitals or old folks' homes. I just hold my bathroom in, because I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with it again. So they need to have awareness about, you know, cleaning bathrooms. Like, if you're a patient in a hospital, they should give you something to clean the seat, or the doctor should clean the seat after you do a, like a urine test, whatever. The doctor should clean that toilet every use, because that's how you're going to kill the c-diff spores and stuff. But like I said, that people just don't really care about it. They act like, oh, I'm not going to catch it, so that's why I have to let everyone know what I went through last year, because some people ask me, like, what infection you had, what was it, what like, how did you get it? So that's why I have to let everyone know on this YouTube that it wasn't easy as you think it was. So and it is fatal, means death. It can really kill you. Any infection can kill you, but this one is a high risk, deadly. That's what the doctor told me, that this is a high risk, deadly. It is treatable, but it's hard to treat. And I know infections can hurt you, but this one is a high risk, fatal. That's what the Google said, and that's what my doctor told me. That's what my gastrologist told me. So I'm just letting you know right now that that's what they told me. And what's funny is that I celebrated it. After I got home, I ate chocolate, I drank soda, I was eating pizza, because I was celebrating my victory of defeating the c-diff. And my doctor said, go home, celebrate, and that's what I did. I celebrating myself that I defeated it, and I didn't give up. So that's why I have to let everyone know on this YouTube video that if you have the symptoms that I'm saying in the video, please see a doctor ASAP. Like I said, it is fatal. I'm not making it up. It is a real thing, and it makes me upset that I felt like people didn't really care what I went through. Some of my friends did care. Some people on my TikTok did care a little bit. My Facebook, it seems like my relatives don't really care. It's just they're only going to care if I'm dead or if I'm in horrible condition, in the hospital. That's when they're going to really care. So that's why just be careful who your real friends are. People are fakers. People will only care is when you're hurt. Like I said, I went through, me and my partner went a lot with this toxic lady in our building. She's really toxic. I don't want to get into detail, but she would use you and stuff like that. I'm not going to mention her name. And when she has friends over, she would put you down and say horrible shit about you that's not true, saying you stole this from me, you did this to me, I did everything. I'm not going to get into detail, like I said, about her. Like, I'm not going to give you her name or anything, but me and my partner feel like we're going to have to just avoid her from now on, because she can get us into trouble. So anyways, so yeah, I decided to share this video, and if it doesn't get much attention, I guess, like I said, people don't really care about c-diff because they think it's not a big deal, but it is. So yeah, so I'm watching VeggieTales. So yeah, bye.